Good.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste, assalamu alaikum. Good evening or good morning to all of you, depending on the time zone in which you live, because there are always people in this meeting from all over the world. I am Shakira Mohammed of Trinidad and Tobago, a teacher for the past 15 years, and this is the 156th edition of our Zoom public meeting. We wish to sincerely thank all those who have contributed in whatever way to the success of this ongoing Pan-Indo-Caribbean and Pan-Indian Diaspora Global Project. So for 155 unbroken continuous weeks, we have been here every single Sunday. And in the past 3 years and 3 months, we have featured 633 presenters from all parts of the world, speaking on 155 topics. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a weekly forum being hosted by the Indo-Caribbean Cultural Center, a legally registered research and publishing company operating since 2010. And like today, we often partner with the Amina Ghafoor Institute for the study of indentureship and its legacies, led by Professor David Davidine. Today's edition of our program is being supported by the Sport and Culture Fund of the Office of the Prime Minister of the Government of Trinidad and Tobago. During this month of May, we are celebrating Indian History and Heritage Month. In order to continue this weekly program and to make it bigger and better, we are asking you to kindly give us your suggestions as well as donations, and you can contact Dr. Kumar Mahabir for details. Ladies and gentlemen, our moderator this evening or tonight is Shalama Mohammed, the co-director of this Zoom platform, who is a business teacher and researcher from Trinidad and Tobago. She obtained her master's degree in business psychology from Franklin University in the USA. Shalama, welcome.
Thank you so much, Shakira. Nice to have you back. Assalamu alaikum, namaste, and a very warm welcome to all of you. I want to thank you so much for choosing to be here with us. So this public meeting will take the usual form of a panel presentation with speakers presenting, followed by Q&A. This meeting is being recorded live and would be uploaded later on YouTube permanently for posterity. We are live streaming on the YouTube channel of the Indo-Caribbean Cultural Center, and I just want to say welcome to all our viewers on YouTube. To avoid intrusions from trolls, Robin Ramsing, our IT manager, has muted everyone. Speakers, please do not admit anyone, do not unmute anyone, and please do not allow anyone to share your screen. Thank you. Over the next 2 hours, we will be talking about finding your ancestral family in India, the 5th in this series. We are bringing this topic again 2 days before we celebrate Indian Arrival Day as a national holiday in Trinidad and Tobago, because it continues to be in great demand. More than likely because genealogy allows individuals to connect with their ancestors, honor their struggles, achievements, and contributions, as well as to instill a sense of pride and cultural continuity within families and communities. This topic is particularly relevant during this Indian Heritage and History Month. But is it of greater importance to a specific age group in the Indian diaspora? What has been the experience of persons who went in search of their ancestral villages and families? Who can you go to if you want to find your ancestral families in India? We hope to answer some of these questions today. And let me introduce you to our first speaker. This is Mr. Kenneth Solane from the USA. He's originally from St. Vincent. He's a former product and sales manager who visited several states in India, both for business and pleasure. He says any Indian living in the diaspora will immediately feel a sense of belonging when they visit India. And regardless of how many generations removed from India, they will recognize aspects about themselves that are uniquely Indian. Welcome, Mr. Solane. You can go ahead.
Thank you, and wish just to extend to everyone my appreciation for you attending and my appreciation for allowing me to present. I guess I need a presenter. Or just share screen?
Yes, you could share screen.
Okay.
Great, we're seeing it.
So my presentation is really a bit of a different perspective in that My great-great-grandfather came from India in the 1870s. His name was Rambulak Singh. And it was an arduous journey to St. Vincent in the Caribbean. And my family immigrated to the USA in 1960 when I was only 2 years old. So I pretty much grew up in the United States, but from the stories and that my elders and my aunts and uncles always told, I always had an affinity for those stories. And I always had a dream of one day maybe going to India. Well, the clues in finding your ancestors for us are very difficult because we have very, let's say, limited information. But I like to say that by going to India, I found over 1 billion of my family living in India. Because coincidentally, you know, as you arrive in India, one thing that you notice is that there's a lot of familiar faces. There are people that look just like my aunts and uncles and my cousins. In fact, sometimes I had to do a double take, and it was almost going to say something to the person because the person looked exactly like my family. There's a picture of just myself and my wife by the landmark Taj Mahal. And when you have to, or when you not have to, but when you want to go to India, there's obviously some preparation. So I'd like to just talk a little bit about that. You have to prepare a lot in advance. Obviously, if you're coming from the United States, you have to get a visa, passport. And if you're a seasoned traveler versus a first-time traveler, maybe if you're a first time, a tour might be the best option for you, where the tour guides take you around to different places that you would like to go. It is certainly a long flight from North America. I think it was 16 hours, but on one trip I did stop through London, and another trip I did stop through Dubai to kind of break it up. My advice for anyone traveling is, especially to India, is don't overpack. If the suitcase limit is 50 pounds, 22 kilogram, pack half of what you really think you should take, because you're going to buy clothes there probably. You need to dress a bit conservative, no shorts and provocative clothing, because you might be going to religious places. Obviously, you want to take some medicines with you, your regular medicines, a bit of a first aid kit. And my advice is never to drive in India. For anyone, even from St. Vincent or the Caribbean, or I grew up in New York City, and I learned to drive in New York City. I will not drive in India. It's total controlled chaos, I call it. Learn a few words, just the basic words that will be helpful. But in India, lots of people speak English, especially the more sort of educated people. And India is really world class when it comes to the airports and hotels and infrastructure. But my last bit of advice in preparing is be patient with India. Things will work out in their time. India has its own kind of sense of time. My first trip to India was on business. I worked for GE as a product manager, so I did a lot of training. And there you see a picture of just some of my colleagues. These were fairly young folks that I was giving training to, and I must say they were wonderful to work with, very bright, very respective, nothing like the students that I'm used to, that I was, especially even myself. I would probably be slapped by the ruler, on my hand if I was in India. Drink lots of tea at business meetings, and I did get the opportunity to get some home-cooked meals and to eat at some local restaurants that maybe the average tourist wouldn't get to go to. So that was a nice thing, that my colleagues took me to their home, and I met their families, and that was a great time. India runs on India Standard Time. That means when you're in business, if the meeting's at 9 o'clock, if you come at 10 o'clock, it's okay. No one's going to be too upset. It just runs on its own time. And Indians, especially business colleagues, love to debate. especially about politics, philosophy, religion, any subject. And they also love to debate about cricket. When I was there, India was playing the West Indies, actually. So we went to see the game just on television. And the West Indies batsman hit a six. And I started cheering, and everyone looked at me like, what is wrong with this guy? You're rooting for the wrong team. Because as an Indian of descent, when you come to India, you're going to sort of blend right in, of course. As I mentioned, the traffic is, you'll see all kinds of conveyances, motorcycles, tuk-tuks, as they call them, little three-wheel vehicles, hand carts, even camel carts. You'll see animals on the road. This is a picture here of Delhi, and even in Mumbai and the big cities, you'll see animals on the street. When I first got there, a cow was blocking the entrance to the hotel. So the driver just simply stopped, walked over to the cow and said, "Excuse me, mother cow, can you move?" And the cow just got up and moved out of the way. So people are very respectful of the animals, but be prepared for crowds, especially in the bigger cities. And as I said, I will never be able to figure out the traffic patterns, but the people there know how to do it. They know how to drive through the traffic. Of course, food is great. What I tended to do was stay at hotels that had breakfast buffet included, and that you eat a nice breakfast in the morning, and that would keep you pretty much all day. Maybe you have a snack in the afternoon. So very many snacks. Now, if you're a little bit more brave, you might try the street food, but some people will maybe not want to try it. It might upset your stomach. Certainly, I would recommend only drinking bottled water. But as I say, in India, every 200 miles you go, the language changes, the cuisine changes. So India is also very regional. The north of India has a different approach to food than the south. We tend to say everything is curry, but it's a highly regionalized and specialized cuisine. Here's a picture of my son trying to eat a dosa with a knife and fork, and I had to instruct him, no, you don't use knife and fork, please use your hands. The other thing that I found was helpful was always buy a lot of stands that sell fresh fruit. So I always like to get some fresh fruit to eat during my trips. In 2013, my wife and I took a tour of what's called the Golden Triangle. That's Delhi, Jaipur, and Agra. Of course, Agra is famous for the Taj Mahal. The Jama Masjid is one of the largest Muslim temples, and the Laxmaran Mandir is, of course, a Hindu temple in Delhi. We also went to the Janta Mantar, which is an observatory. What you're looking at here is a sundial. And when I checked the actual time on the sundial versus my iPhone, it was within like a minute. The sundial was actually tilted because the Indians back then knew what latitude, and they knew that the earth was tilted. And there are a lot of amazing technology. Me, as someone having an engineering background, was always amazed by the architecture and the technology behind India or Indians. Of course, shopping, when I went with my wife, she is a bargainer. And as Indians like to bargain, typically when you go in an Indian shop, let's say like clothing or something like that, you don't pay the price, the first price they ask you. It's customary to negotiate. I typically offer half the price that they ask me for, and if they don't respond, I start walking out the door, and the guy says, "Oh, no, come back." And you go back and forth until you get a price that you both like. On my first trip to India, I went by myself on business, and my wife asked me to bring back a sari, and I knew nothing really about it. I did learn that it's 9 yards of cloth. So the gentleman I worked with said the best place that you're going to visit to buy would be Bangalore. because they have Mysore silk and they're famous for their silk saris. So the proprietor of this shop sat me down, of course, gave me a cup of tea and some biscuits. And the first sari they showed me was like $10,000. It was a little bit out of my price range, but they started showing me some more. And finally, I decided on one. And that's a picture of my wife wearing it at a wedding. So I don't know much about saris, but I know for $100, certainly you can get a very nice sari in India. As I said, I was always amazed at the skill of the workers. Everyone from even like people doing, let's say these three women here they're the restorers. They actually will restore and they're very skilled at doing restoration work. Carpet, each individual knot is tied in on these handmade carpets, and certainly like the workmanship and the intricacies. And this is all done by hand. And the system is in India, the father passes on the skills to his son and his son passes on to his son. So you have whole generations of expert, let's say, woodworkers or stonemasons. This is a jewelry shop where they're grinding and polishing the precious stones. And these are not even like electrical operated. They work it back and forth by hand to get that very fine polish and quality. I always like to go to museums when I have some spare time. I just something I enjoy, and it's a good way to get into the culture. So if you have time and you go to India, I would always encourage you to visit museums and just to get a taste from artwork and things like that of Indian culture. I had the opportunity to, on my second trip with my wife, to go to a village school. This is a very poor area. And these children you see here, it's the first time they're going to school. Generation before them never went to school. So they're the first of their generation to go to school. And it was very, for me, a very nice thing, because I remember my mother talking about the days she went to school in St. Vincent using chalk and slate, and that's what these children were using. And the children are very friendly. As soon as we got there, a little boy just came up to us and offered us water, So again, this school uses no high technologies, slate and chalk, but these children are moving up in the world because they're going to learn English and they're going to be able to at least read for themselves and move on to maybe a higher level than what they are now. In 2015, we visited Kerala. Kerala really reminds me of the Caribbean, the climate, the things that grow there. Here you see, for example, coconuts. These are the famous Chinese fishing nets in Kerala. They're famous for the seafood. And if you go inland a little bit, also into the mountains, it's a big tea growing region. We went to a place where they gave us tea tasting of different types of teas and learned a bit of an education on tea. I used to just think that tea was tea, but after going through this tea tasting, you learn that it's a really fine art. In these tea fields, they only pick 2 or 3 leaves from each bush of the premium tea, and maybe they do that 2 or 3 times a week. And this is a houseboat in the backwaters, where we spent the night on the houseboat, just traveling through what's called the backwaters of Kerala. Also in Kerala, we attended a performance, Kathakali, and it's a difficult one to explain what Kathakali is, but it tells the Ramayana story, but it's a very stylized way of telling it. It's very interesting. Kali Patayu is Indian self-defense. The Indians developed Kung Fu, and then later it went to China, where it developed more into the art. But the basic art of hand-to-hand self-defense was really started and started in India. And this is just a picture of the backwaters. Here's a lady washing clothes in the river. And again, that reminds me of the stories that, well, not just stories, but I experienced my grandparents from very humble beginnings. Their house in St. Vincent didn't have electricity. There was a battery operated radio. So, you know, in the evening, you could maybe listen to a few minutes of the radio to get news, but to entertain yourself, you made your own music or told stories. So it was great to see this kind of thing still exist. I got to observe a woman grinding spices on the sill with a stone, same like it's described in the Caribbean, you know, where you take the stone to grind spices when you're cooking and so forth.
Ken, this is absolutely wonderful. Can you make your closing comments soon, please?
Okay, yeah, let's get to the end. So we also went to Mumbai and into the slum in Dharavi. And of course, there is the musical side. I enjoy music. So we got to experience some of that. In 2018, we went to Goa, and Goa is more of a beach area. But to come to the conclusion, for future travel to India, I would like to go to Amritsar, to the Sikh Golden Temple. I'd like to see that. Kolkata and also Varanasi is the home of Ram Balak Singh, so that might be something to look into. A train journey. There's also homestays where you can stay at someone's home. That might be something of interest. Another thing I came across was a vocation, where you do volunteer work and donate your time in India, working with people. My wife is a nurse, so she's somewhat interested in that. I have seen a lot of change from 2010 to 2018 in India. It's really progressing. And one bit of advice is, if you go to India, don't try to do everything in one trip. And lastly, I think for all of us, it's always a good idea to try to maybe bring India to us, attend local Indian events. These pictures you see here are from Lowell, Massachusetts, in a little bit of an Indian celebration that my wife and I attended. Thank you for your attention, and that sort of comes to the conclusion.
Thank you so much, Ken. That was an excellent overview of India, and I'm so glad that you shared your personal stories with us. At this point in time, I want to bring on our second speaker, who has been awake for many, many hours. She is in India right now. That is Swasti Bole-Bika. She lives in Switzerland. She was born in Mauritius and is a fourth-generation descendant of Girmitiyas. She's the co-founder and chairperson of the Girmitiya Foundation in India. And we welcome her for the first time on ICC as a presenter, that is. Swasti, welcome. You can unmute.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Namaste, all of you. I want to thank you, Shalima, and thank also Dr. Mahavir to invite us on this platform to present our foundation. Okay. And can share the slides.
Yeah, Shakira will bring it up for you.
Slides, yeah. Okay, we begin with the first. Yeah. So we are here to present the Girmitiya Foundation. The Girmitiya Foundation is an NGO registered in India. We have been working since 2018. Our foundation is helping all the Indians, all people having Indian origin, or who are related in some way or other, to reconnect to the history, helping to the roots, the ancestral land of inheritance, We believe that roots and culture are our pride and the way of education and heritage. The foundation is also working. I cannot see, it was, yeah. Okay. Mm. The foundation is also working in the cultural field and is giving a platform to artists of Girmitiya origin. We are promoting the relationship between India and all Girmitiya countries and is organizing
Okay, we seem to have some technical difficulties here with Swasti. As I said, she is currently in India, and I'm not too sure what the internet situation is like. Swasti, you muted yourself. Can you unmute?
Yeah. Okay. So we are working also to create a better society which provide education, empowerment to all and developing awareness of our sanskar for a new generation. Next slide. I'm born in Mauritius, and as long as I was in Mauritius, I didn't have any notion from where come our forefathers. Yes, I know my parents, my grandparents are Indian, though I am also Indian. I have followed the lines of every Indian, means going to Hindi school, doing Sandhya, Havan, celebrating Hindu festivals as Sankranti, Mahashivratri, Holi, Diwali, etc. Attending wedding ceremonies for 3 to 4 days, and most of all, eating 7.
Okay, I think we've lost her again. Swasti, unmute again, please.
We can go to the second slide. The next slide. Yeah, as you can see, we perform Havan, as I said. The third slide. The third. Next. Yeah. This is my nanny and my mother, and in our family, all our ladies, see, they have always wear saris. Okay? But being in an Indian family, even I live a long period in Europe, and even I'm married, and we can next, please. Next. Next slide. Next slide. Having to, yeah. Let's go back, let's be back. Back again. I think the problem is continuing. Okay,
Swasti,
you can give.
Swasti,
Yes.
Would you mind
Yeah.
holding, the microphone a little closer to your mouth, please? You're not coming across very clearly.
Yeah, but yes. Mhm. Mhm. We can go back with the slide. One side back.
Right.
Can you hear me
Better.
properly?
Yes.
Yes.
Better. Yes.
And back. Yes. Back again. Once. Mm. Once again. Once again. Back once again. Yeah. Mm. No, no, no. It's okay. It was okay. Next. Next. Yeah. But being in an Indian family, even I live a long period in Europe, and even I get married to a non-Indian, it was my duty and normal to come back in Mauritius and do the wedding ceremony according to Hindu rituals, as it must be. And as a girl who have not dreamed to be a Dulhan one day, all that made me realize that I was complete. No need to go further. But when you live in a different country, a non-Indian country, people are curious to know where you are from. So then the question arises. This made my mind to come to India for the first time in 2001, 2018. I can still feel the energy. I met with the first person, Giriji, who talked to me about my ancestors. Next. 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 Yeah. Yes. Deliberately speak to me about my ancestors, and this meeting brings me to my ancestors' village. They were in Balia, the village where my first dada was born. All that at the time, the Zila was Azingur, Perguna Sekandapur, and village Dewa. My father came at the age of 14 from Calcutta, from the port of Calcutta on a vessel called Canada, and arrived at the depot of Mauritius the 15th September 1876. In Dewa village, I never feel homesick. When I arrived in the village, it was like a dream. The village where it was like a dream. And I was really well received by all the people. All villagers came to receive us. The village where my granddad started to practice his spiritual belief, practice of dharma, and carries us all the way. To me, his fourth generation. My journey was very short, but very rich, so beautiful, and the feelings were so deep, so real. I cannot imagine that it's already finished. So it was not the final for me, but the beginning for a long, long journey to be. We found out that there was not any registered organization to help people in the root research. So together we decided to create the Girmitiya Foundation to help others find out their roots. So our goals in the Girmitiya Foundation is to promote Girmitiya history, promote Bhojpuri language and the culture. Most of all, to make it possible for those who want to know about their ancestors' village. By giving maximum of information, to make it more easy to have documents for root research, guiding people, helping them to get the OCI card so that the future generation can beneficiate all facilities that the government of India are giving for the better knowledge of Hindi and Indian culture. And creating also more job opportunities and build a bridge to share our ancestral skills. People from different Girmitiya countries can come to India and learn more. Still now, many persons are not aware of those possibilities. By giving more information about all these opportunities, we hope to inspire to get connected to the root. Till now, all these informations are not accessible to all people in different Girmitiya countries. Now we are in the field for nearly 4 years, working on the ground floor, and I feel very proud for the work accomplished in this short lapse of time. We have been able to find out and give details to many people about their ancestors' village. We are lucky we have dedicated persons collaborating under the good governance of Dilip Giriji on site. We have organized many events. Our first event was in Kolkata in 2019 and introducing our Girmitiya Foundation to Indian itself, whom most of them do not know about this part of their history. We produced a film also, Ek Tarun Katha. Our second event, this first event was a test to find out how much Indians are aware about this part of the history and give us more reason to go through our goals. We have got a second event also in December 2021, where we have launched a souvenir book. Our goal also is to share the roots, share the fruits from the roots. We have been thinking that our forefathers was very, very in a miserable state when they left the India, and now we are the fourth generation. And sometimes when we travel and we go in the village, in the backside, many people are still struggling. So we have also a concept to share the fruits from the roots. Okay. And these are the coverage of some of the events we have done. The first one is events we held in Delhi, and the second picture on the top of at the right is a conference we had done in the press conference to announce the first our first Mahotsav. And in the bottom is the coverage of when we have gone for the first time in the village. Yeah. Next, please. Next, please. Yes. And this is some social works.
Okay, I'm not seeing Swasti. I feel it seems that okay, she's internet is coming and going, it would seem. Swasti, go ahead, please.
To terminate, I can say all that we have received once in our life, even we are conscious or not, we carry the legacy within us. It's up to every one of us to bring it further or not. We must keep in mind all that is not given and lost. We must keep on sharing around us. I love being in India to be connected. I feel a different energy when I am in India. I feel I am at home. And this is the list of the first 28 persons who have arrived in Mauritius for the first time and with that, I'm sorry, my connection was not very good, so I terminate the presentation here.
That's okay, Swasti. We want to thank you very much for sharing all that you have and for introducing the Girmitiya Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to ask you to appreciate that both Swasti and Dilip, who will be speaking next, have had a very, very busy weekend. They hosted, through the Girmitiya Foundation, they would have hosted a program over the entire weekend. And at the moment, it is about 1 a.m. in the morning, and they've been going nonstop. So for them to even be here to present at this time is really quite an effort and a sacrifice. And I want to thank them both so much. At this point in time, Swasti would have mentioned that they would have produced a film. And so we want to share that film with you. It was produced by both she and Dilip. And Dilip, when he comes on to speak after the film, he will give you further details. So Robin, can we have that film now, please?
अठारहवीं शताब्दी एक ऐसा दौर था कि अंग्रेजी शासन का सूरज डूबने का नाम नहीं ले रहा था। दुनिया के कई देश अंग्रेजी शासन के गुलाम थे। उसी वक्त उपनिवेशवाद का बिगुल बजा। तब खेत खलिहान और कल कारखानों में काम करने के लिए अधिक से अधिक मजदूरों की जरूरत पड़ी। खास करके कई अफ्रीकन और कैरिबियन देशों में गन्ना की खेती और चीनी के मिलों में काम करने के लिए। अब इन्हीं जरूरतों को पूरा करने के लिए अंग्रेज हर नीति अपनाने लगे। संजोग से उसी समय भारत अकाल, गरीबी और महामारी के दौर से गुजर रहा था। खासकर गरीब मजदूर और किसानों के हालात बहुत खराब थे और ये दौर था सन 1834 ईस्वी का।
दादा ये का कहिला जान बूझ के माहुर पी लेला न
तका कर
ए भगवान कितना दिन से इनारे में कुकुर मर के पड़ल रहल है, सकरो पानी जहर हो गई रहल है।
अरे तो
पूछ के जहर पी लेला ने
तो का करी,
काहे कइला?
भूखल प्यासल जान दे दे, मरे के तो वही सहू रहल।
ऐसन काहे कइला? अरे हम गइल त रहली पानी लेवे, तनी तो सब्र कैले ले होता।
कहा सब्र करी, ये अंग्रेजवन की अत्याचार, ऊपर से ही पड़कवा लोगन के दुत्कार, ऊपर से ही भगवान की मार। यह काल भुखमरी में क्यों नहीं बची, क्यों नहीं बची?
का भइलो? का भइल मुनिया बाबू?
ए सुखिया,
बोला का भइल?
जियरा कहाँ जानी कैसा हो पारे?
का भइलो? कहाँ जाइए भगवान? अब सो के बोला ने
कादा मरी गई ना, अभिनो मरी गई, मरी गई, सब ओरा जइया, क्यों नहीं बची, क्यों नहीं बची?
अरे 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 नहीं
का भेल रे? नागेश्वर भाई गुजर गई।
अरे हाथी के खजुआवल और तू जैसन जाहिलन के समझावल, ये दोनों बराबर है। अरे समझावत गटाई फाट गई कि साइमन साहब कब से तैयार बाटे बाहर भेजे के। ऐसन मुलुक जहाँ का धरती सोना उगले ले, सोना।
क्रोध कर ई बतावा, हमनी के हाल तो से छुपल बका।
अरे यही लिए तो समझावत बानी कि अभइन भी समय बा, समझ जा। हम साइबन साहब के मनाई ले, और वह जौन हो का होला हो 5 साल के और लिखाला गिरगिट में नहीं, गिरमेंटवा, फिर सोना चांदी धन दौलत लाद के वापस लौट के आवे के बाद।
कहा भैया, कहा था सब लोग?
हाँ तैयार बनी जा।
तो देखा वादा खिलाफी ना होके के चाहिए।
नहीं होई।
ता ठीक बा, त जा तू लोग इनकर दाह संस्कार करा, हम जाते हैं साइमन साहब से मिले।
और इसी मजबूरी का फायदा उठाने के लिए दलाल गरीब लोगों को झूठे सपने दिखाकर भरमाना शुरू किया।
सलाम हुजूर।
तुमको एक छोटा सा प्लान दिया था और तुम वो भी नहीं कर सका।
सब होई गवा है हुजूर, सब होई गवा है।
तुमने सबको कन्वेंस साइमन तैयार कर लिया है?
सबको तैयार कर लिया है।
वेरी गुड। खूब अच्छी, हम तुमको माला माल कर देगा
जी।
बस तुम हमारा उनसे मीटिंग फिक्स कराओ।
अरे कल सबका मीटिंग फिक्स कर दिया है साहब।
यस, तो ठीक है, कल मीटिंग के बाद हम तुम्हारा इनाम तुमको दे देगा।
जी हुजूर।
तुम जा सकता है खूब जी।
अच्छा।
तुम्हारा गरीबी उधर दूर हो जाएगा और तुम उधर खूब ढेर सारा पैसा कमाएगा।
हम जानना चाहते कि वापस कब लौटाई जाए।
व्हाट? ये क्या पूछता है?
अरे वापसी हुजूर, वापसी मतलब रिटर्न।
तुम्हारा जब जी करेगा तुम वापस आ सकता है। इतना ही नहीं, बहुत पैसे के साथ। बट हाँ, इसके लिए तुम्हें पहले एग्रीमेंट साइन करना पड़ेगा।
अरे वह एग्रीमेंटवा जो लिखाई 5 साल खातिर।
अंग्रेज एक सादे कागज पर 5 सालों के लिए एग्रीमेंट करवाने लगे। अब लोगों को एग्रीमेंट शब्द कहना ना आया तो लोग गिरमिट, फिर गिरमिटिया कहने लगे।
अब सब लोग चलने की तैयारी करेगा।
ठीक है सरकार।
ओके, ऑल द बेस्ट।
इतना समय लागत था तैयार होने में। लागत था जैसे दुल्हन के विदाई होके वाला बा।
भीतरा से ऐसा लगा था जैसे कपू लौट के नहीं आए। हे जी उन्हन के मना कर दे। हम परदेश नहीं जाए। हमके बहुत डर लगा था। मना कर दे।
अरे अधिक से अधिक का होए? वही मर कब जाए और का होए? अरे यूं तो रोज हमनी के मरे ही जाए के बाद।
लोग बेहतर भविष्य के लिए जाने की तैयारी करने लगे, लेकिन अपना घर, परिवार और गांव छोड़ना बहुत आसान नहीं था। आंखों में आंसू लिए लोग पलायन को मजबूर हुए।
छूटल आपन देशवा भैली परदेसी, अब त छूटल आपन देशवा भैली परदेसी, अब त कैसन कैसन दिन ई दिखाई रे जिंदगिया, कैसन कैसन दिन दिखाई रे जिंदगिया। छूटल आपन देशवा भैली परदेसी, अब त छूटल आपन देशवा भैली परदेसी, अब त कैसन कैसन दिन ई दिखाई रे जिंदगिया। ओ कैसन कैसन दिन ई दिखाई रे जिंदगिया।
गिरमिटिया यात्रा का पहला पड़ाव था कलकत्ता, जहां पहुंचने के बाद गिरमिटिया लोगों को खाली गोदाम में जानवरों की तरह ठूस दिया जाता था, जहां लोगों को यह शक हुआ कि हमारे साथ धोखा हुआ है।
डर लागे भीतरा से देखी फिरंगी के हो, डर लागे भीतरा से देखी फिरंगी के, जाने कौने ठहरे ले जाई रे फिरंगी।
खूब बड़ा नाम सुन ले रहनी, आज देख भी लेनी जा। अरे ऐसे बढ़िया तो अपन गांव रहा है।
अरे ई तो कौनो गोदाम हवहू लोगन ला के जानवरन के लेखन ठूस देहलस।
ये फिरंगियन के कोनो भरोसा नहीं है, ये कुछ कर सके न सब।
और यहाँ से शुरू हुआ सन 1934 ईस्वी में गिरमिटिया का इतिहास। लोग कलकत्ता से पानी के जहाज में सवार होकर मॉरिशस, सूरीनाम, गुयाना, फिजी सहित अन्य देशों में कठिन समुद्री यात्रा शुरू की है।
अब के बोली हमसे माई के जुबानिया हो, अब के बोली हमसे माई के जुबानिया हो, के कही हमारा सिखाल राजा बेटा, के कही हमारा सिखाल राजा बेटा।
अब बहन तो यही हाल बा, पता नहीं अबे आगे कौन कौन सा जुल्म झेलत पड़ी।
ए बाबू देखा तो तबीयत तो आता है कभी बिगड़ल जात बा का ये विधाता। अब ही कौन कौन भोग भोगई बा ये विधाता। कहो लोगन तबीयत तो आता है कभी बिगड़ल जात बा। ए बाबू लगाता बचियन नहीं।
अरे ऐसा ना कहा था।
ओ माय गॉड, ये तो बहुत बीमार है और इसकी बीमारी ठीक नहीं हो सकता, बल्कि इसके इन्फेक्शन से और बीमारी फैल सकता है। एक काम करो, तुम इसको उठाकर समंदर में फेंक दो। समझना भूल जाए इतना करो, तुम सबको उठाकर समंदर में फेंक देगा। फेंको।
अरे नहीं अरे अरे रहम करिए मलिकार, ए सरकार रहम करियो, ए सरकार, अरे सरकार, अरे जाए दिए सरकार। अरे
ए काका, लगा था हमन के पहुंच गईली।
हाँ रे, बाकिर बड़ा निर्जन जगह बुझाता रे। यहाँ तो कोनो मानो से ना दिखाई देत बाटा।
हे, तुम लोगों का ठिकाना आ गया, चलो उतरो, चलो उतरो उतरो।
इस तरह एक कठिन यात्रा पूरा करने के बाद लोग मॉरिशस सहित अन्य देश पहुंचे और शुरू हुआ अंग्रेजों का अत्याचार।
क्या करता है? हे, क्या करता है? ठीक से काम करो वरना हम तुम्हारा चमड़ी उधेड़ देगा। हे, उठ मैं।
अरे सरकार, अरे नहीं सरकार,
क्या करता है? तेज काम कर। अरे सरकार, काम करते रहो सब लोग। तुम क्या कर रहा है? काम कर। तुम सबकी चमड़ी उधेड़ लूंगा। हे, हम जितना बोलता है उतना तुमको उतना काम करना चाहिए। तुमको समझी? या बैठ के दाना तोड़ने नहीं आया है? तुम सबकी चमड़ी उधेड़ लूंगा। चलो जाओ।
ए भाई लोगन, अब तनाई लगत बा हमके कि हम लोग अपना देश लौट पावल जाई। अब जब राम जी के यह मर्जी बा तो यह धरती, यह धरा के धरती और आकाश के अपन मान करके जीवन गुजर बसर कइल जाए।
पर हमरा के बोली भाषा तीज त्योहार रीत रिवाज क्यों कब्बो नहीं छीन सकेला, कब्बो नहीं छीन सकेला काका।
ओ कबो छीन पाई केहू हमरा से? अरे वो तो हमरा के हमनी के रग रग में बसल बारे। हमार वतन, हमार भारत ओकरा के हम कैसे भुला सकीला रे।
आगे चलकर गिरमिटिया मजदूर और उनके वंशजों ने इन तमाम छोटे छोटे देशों को अंग्रेजों के गुलामी से मुक्त कराकर आजाद कराया। आज ये सभी देश संपूर्ण रूप से विकसित है और भारतीय पूर्वजों की आज की पीढ़ी एक सफल जीवन जी रही है। आज भी वहाँ के लोग भारतीय सभ्यता, संस्कृति और धार्मिक अनुष्ठानों का आयोजन बहुत भव्य तरीके से करते हैं। यानी आप ये कह सकते हैं संघर्ष और कठिनाइयों से शुरू हुई गिरमिटिया इतिहास सफलता तक पहुंची।
छूटल आपन देशवा भैनी पार देसी अब त छूटल आपन देशवा भैनी पार देसी अब त कैसन कैसन दिन ई दिखाई रे जिंदगिया, कैसन कैसन दिन ई दिखाई रे जिंदगिया। छूटल आपन देशवा भैनी पार देसी अब त छूटल आपन देशवा भैनी पार देसी अब त कैसन कैसन दिन ई दिखाई रे जिंदगी।
If that did not touch you deeply, we'll have that film stopped in a second. Robin, please stop the film. Thank you. So that was entitled Girmitiya, and it, of course, told the story of the Girmitiya journey, produced by Dilip Kumar Giri and Swasti. You all heard from Swasti just now, and I want to bring on now Dilip. He's the founder and president of the Girmitiya Foundation. He's a freelance writer, director, and film producer. He produced the short film Girmitiya that you just saw, and he's also an actor, played the lead role in the Bhojpuri film entitled Video Sahib. Dilip, welcome, and please do share with us your motivation and all the history and research and everything that you would have done in order to do that film. It really, really touched me.
Thank you, Salima ji and Dr. Mahavir ji, that you are giving opportunity for the represent our Girmitiya Foundation. And namaste from India to everyone, and welcome from India to everyone. Basically, I am Dilip Giri and founder of Girmitiya Foundation. My co-founder and chairperson Swasti Bole also in the program. So if you show my PPT file, then I speak and explain everything. Can I speak?
Yes, Dilip, go ahead.
Okay. Basically, we started with Swasti Boleji from Switzerland and Mauritius. Our organization working from 2018, but officially we registered in 2019, and continue we are working for the reconnect our roots, and our foundation tagline is the unique line is the reconnects your roots. It means root is the very important part of the every person in the life. Roots means land, roots means culture, roots means sanskar, root means our language and everything. So we also make our tagline is the reconnects with root, and we are continue from the 2019. Next slide. This is our first success story from the Uttar Pradesh Balia, and this is the fourth father of the Swasti Bole. When she came in India and meet with me in the Bombay, then we talk regarding her ancestor village, and after that she back to Mauritius and sent to me documents, and I started my research, and finally I got it. And after that I informed to Swasti ji, and she came in 2019 with full family. Next slide. Next. This is our first success story in the Uttar Pradesh. Swasti ji came with full family with daughter, son, and husband. And this is our media publicity and all coverage by local media. And after that, we decided that then we make a very good platform for all our respected Girmitiya brothers and sisters worldwide, because we realize no any platform for help to any Girmitiya brothers and sisters reconnect their roots. And we decide that we will make a Girmitiya Foundation. And after that, this success story of the Swasti Boleji, we founded our organization Girmitiya Foundation, and our motto completely dedicated is it's tribute to our great ancestor. Next. This is our the working following part. We are working also in the women entrepreneurship development. This is our social work, largely promote art and culture. This is the traditional folk music of our ancestor, and many things of the school field and education field, health field. We are working in the very social work in India, different state, basically in West Bengal, Bihar, and Uttar Pradesh, because this three state is the very connected of our ancestor journey. Our ancestor, maximum ancestor journey started from the Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and then finally last step in the West Bengal, Kolkata. So we are working three states in the different field for the better societies. Next. It was our first event in the Kolkata in 2019, because the last point and last step of our ancestor in the Kolkata, then we decided that our first event, it will be in the Kolkata. So we done in the Kolkata. This is the pictures of 2019, and also in this program, the Suriname Bhojpuri singer, very famous singer Raj Mohan also participated in performance in these events. Next. This is 2021 and 22 program. We organized with Association ICCR and Fiji High Commission. It was the tribute the Fijian ancestor, the all girls performing cultural performance in the Fiji Girmit Remembrance Day. And another parts in the 2021 in Delhi, it was Girmitiya Mahotsav, second Girmitiya Mahotsav after COVID. And we continue try for the establishment for all connectivity with our Girmitiya ancestor and all brother and sister. And this is the very good response from the all High Commission in India, from the all Girmitiya's country, Mauritius, Fiji, Guyana, Trinidad, Tobago, Suriname, and others, all many Girmitiya's country High Commission supported and connected with us. And so next slide. This is our another success story. This is the Kamlesh Sasi Prakash and his wife Mala Sasi Prakash. The last month we visited her ancestor place. This is the Uncha Gaon district of the Muzaffarnagar in the West Uttar Pradesh, UP. And also Kamlesh Sasi Prakash elder brothers and Bhavi came from the New Zealand. And they are meet with all family in the Uttar Pradesh Uncha Gaon. This is the village name. 3 pictures of from the village. Yes, next slide. And luckily, she is the Suniti Maharaj connected from the Trinidad and Tobago, now settled in the US. And last month, she also came her ancestor village in the Jaunpur village, Jaunpur district, Uttar Pradesh. And he connected her family, and she is very happy. So we share her pictures in this PPT file. If you all are see this our success story here. Next. It was our posters of the Girmitiya films and others press release of our launching book. This is the Girmitiya Kahani Dek Dek. It means the step-by-step story of the Girmitiya. And this book edited by me, but many story we collected worldwide from the Girmitiya ancestor. So this book we published in 2021, our last function, Girmitiya Mahotsav in 2021. Next.
That's the last slide.
Thank you.
Dilip, do you want to continue and talk a little bit about the film and the research that you and Swasti would have done to create the film?
Okay. I am saying firstly our organization, Girmitiya Foundation completely dedicated for the roots research work. I am showing some files in my hand, and in this file almost 100 ancestor documents and immigration certificate, our success work here registered, and many papers in our office. You all see here, this is our work, and here you see we researched and connected with one generation to another generation. And this is also, and we collected from the worldwide from the Girmitiya ancestor and many papers also from many countries, Mauritius, Fiji, Guyana, South Africa, Trinidad and Tobago. So we are trying as per our infrastructure and as per our research, and we still success above 120 family we help and inform all information regarding every Girmitiya ancestors village related. So we also trying as per our capacity and knowledge and connectivity, social connectivity for the help all Girmitiya ancestor for the root search. If anyone interested for in the root search program, so our website visit www.girmitiyafoundation.org. Every information available in our website, and our email ID also available. My phone number, WhatsApp number, and Swasti ji phone number, WhatsApp number also available on website. If any person interested for the root search, they can connect with us and send their ancestor immigration certificate, because immigration certificate is the very important part in the root search program. Because district, thana, it means police station, pargana, it means block, and locality is the very important part in this research work. Without district name and police station name, it means in the certificate it mentions the thana. Thana means local police station. This is the very important part in our research work. So if anyone interested for the root search, they can connect with by email and send ancestor documents and immigration certificate in our email, Girmitiya Foundation email ID. Then we will check and give the reply. And if see or her interested for the visit in the village, so we will also help, and we are continue doing help many people. And I am saying about our pictures, when realize that India, many people don't know about the Girmitiya history, then we decided that make a short film for the education purpose in Indian people, because when you start this work, research work and many help work for the Girmitiya history, then realize in India, many people don't know about the Girmitiya history. And really, it was the very painful journey of our great ancestor and forefather. Then we decided we will make a short film only for the education purpose and knowledge purpose of this painful history. So we make in the 20 minutes, but it is not possible in 20 minutes we show everything, but we just try for the understand everyone what was the history of our great ancestor. And this is the one very important lesson and message. We challenge and face many painful journey, but our ancestors not live their sanskar, culture, language, dress sense, everything they are carry, and their sacrifice. Our present is the good, beautiful, and we are enjoying our life. Thank you, Salimaji.
No, thank you, Dilip.
I am sorry, my English is not very good, but I am trying for you all understand my feeling and my work.
You came across quite clearly. Thank you so much. Everything that you shared, of course, was really so very interesting. And I hope everyone in the audience would have appreciated what you've seen today. I want to invite you all now to pose your questions, if you have any, to Dilip, Swasti, and Ken, who are our speakers today. And I want to thank our speakers very much for sharing all that they have. At this point in time, if you would like to pose a question, please use the reactions button at the base of your screen. Click on it, click on the raised hand icon, and then I'll call upon you to ask a question. I know that Shani Bullock had placed a question in the chat. So Shani, let me invite you to go ahead and unmute your mic and ask your question, please. Can Shani unmute?
Okay, thank you. It was a very, very moving film, to be honest. I could see a lot of work went into it. My question was, do you focus on mainly one part of India? Because obviously it's a massive country. And you have answered my question, which was what kind of information is useful for you in order to help us to find our roots. And you said arrival documents, but many of us don't actually have arrival documents. So what other pieces of information would be helpful for you in order to help us?
Dilip?
I think Swasti Ji is speaking.
Okay, Swasti, can you unmute? Your mic is muted. She seems to have popped out.
Okay.
Dilip, can you try?
Okay, so can I? Yes, okay. Basically, when you send your documents in our... Yes, Swasti Ji, you say no problem.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. The connection is very bad. I'm the porter here, but yeah, I feel really very bad for that. So I said, yeah, every country I think they do have some documentation, registration of all the immigrants who have come. Because I have the example of Mauritius. I know Mauritius is very advanced on that. We have we have mostly the documentation who are available, and can go to the civil service. I
Swasti, you shift your position. I think your network will be support. You shift some your position.
Okay, Dilip, can you continue? Time is
Okay.
running quickly.
Okay. Basically, ma'am, if you're interested for your ancestor root search, so firstly you send your ancestor documents immigration part, and when we will check and get any information firstly, then we will reply to you within 15 or 20 days, because India is a very big part, and also one state, Uttar Pradesh in Bihar, is a very big state, and in Uttar Pradesh 17 district, and also in the Bihar 54 district, and much huge population. And now currently many district position is a geographical position change, and village position name change also. So it is takes 15 to 20 is time. And when we get and think this is the right information regarding and connected with the and matching with the documents, then we inform you. When you decided then that you will come or not, it is your decide, but we inform you this is the village and district information, this is the right or not, and where currently position located in this village, and how we will go there. But if you want assistant with our team, so we will also do assistant with you physically. But this is the very true, without physically visit it's not possible that we trace family all information. We trace village information, but family information without village visit not possible.
Right. Thank you so much, Dilip. Ronaldo, go ahead and unmute. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Yeah, hi. Well, I was basically gonna ask what Ms. Sharni had asked about, not having that information. So she basically covered the basis of what I was gonna ask. But overall, the short film was really insightful and it was really heartwarming. I would leave that comment. And thanks for answering the question, Mr. Dilip. And thank you for your time today. It was really great to have this opportunity before Indian Arrival Day to have this discourse with both you and Ms. Swasti as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Ronaldo. I'm not seeing any other raised hands, and I'm a little bit surprised because I expected a number of people to have questions. I want to remind you all that Dilip is in India. He's on the ground in India, and he has been doing the searches. The portfolio that he showed you contains so many immigration documents, and those are all for clients that he would have worked for. So his work on the ground is extensive. And if you know even the slightest bit of information about your family, this is the time that you can raise it with him to figure out where to go next. Dr. Mahabir, would you like to say something?
Yes, we're still taking questions, but let me divert a little. With Dilip, when we visited India and visited his office and met him in person, and he showed us everything. So, we were checking on integrity and so on. He told us that he's planning a tour of India, not the regular tour that everybody goes to, not a tourist thing, but he wants to retrace the steps from the depot right back to the villages, step by step. So we are going back in time in the very footsteps our grandparents traveled. So Dilip, do you want to share something about that plan tour that you have?
Our future plan, just I am sharing very short information. We are trying is starting a setup, the total connection with our ancestor journey in all over India, from Uttar Pradesh, Bihar and West Bengal. It means Kolkata, the last point of this journey. So we are trying for the Girmitiya journey, starting from the last step from the Kolkata Girmitiya Ghat, then come in the Bihar, visit Bihar, then come in the Uttar Pradesh. This is our upcoming project, because anyone Girmitiya ancestor came here, every person maximum visit in the North India or West India, Delhi, Mathura, Vrindavan, Jaipur, but not visit the real place of the ancestors. So you are trying one setup of the Girmitiya village in the Bihar. If any person want visit the village, he will and see feel the real feeling of the ancestor village, and every European facility will be available in this project. But the natural feel will be, but natural feeling will be the very traditional lifestyle of our ancestor with Goshala, meditation center and everything. And we will start very soon and now trying for the set up this village.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much for sharing that. I'm seeing Mr. Bhagwan Gangaram Pandey from Suriname, and he's turned on the video, so I expect that he wants to say something. Go ahead, please, sir. Please unmute.
Well, you won't believe it. Good evening, everyone. We are busy with the 150 years commemoration, and we are going to how you call it, Sanman Patra. Coming Thursday, we are going to honor 150 special persons. So all listings, all shashes, all things are being prepared by the opening ceremonies of the health fair, and the president, everybody will be there. So it's crazy going on in Suriname. The president of India is arriving on the 4th, Her Excellency Draupadi Murmu. So we have so many activities. Last week, 37 organizations are busy doing things. And as chairman, you have to be everywhere. So last week, Sunday, we had this elderly homes, more than 1,000 senior persons from elderly homes. We treated them. Today, it were the kids from the Anathalay, all the kids today. Then we had the Birds Association, we had the Agriculture Fair, the Lions Club, the Wrestling Federation. So by God, I'm so happy all are over now. So we have to go to another 60 to 70 activities. So we hope that you're coming on the 6th. We have the International Conference, Legacy of Slavery and Indentured Labor. That is from 6 to 10 by Dr. Maurits Hassan Khan. And the program of Her Excellency is very tight. She's coming on the 4th Sunday. Then she has some protocol on Monday morning, the big day. We are going to simulate a Lalaruk ship who came on 5th June 1873 with 399 people. So a ship will be simulated, and then Her Excellency with our president, where the ship arrived, well, there we are going to welcome. She is going to welcome the ship. There was a planning of a big marine ship, but Suriname was late. India was going to send a big marine ship, but that program was canceled. So we had to do another thing. And then she's going to several activities. We have monuments, new monuments. We have, you call it, enormous thing. There is an Indian troupe coming, a dance group, 12 ladies. They will perform for performances. Then we have a lot of lectures, expos, health fair, musicals, you name it, you name it. So we are tired now. Sunday we are working, in the OHM office. Everybody's working. So that's it, what I can inform you. It's enormous activities.
Yeah, thank you very much. And for those of you all who may not have caught what Mr. Pandey said in the beginning, all of this is to mark is it 179?
No, 150 years, Indian immigration.
Right, 150.
26 February, the Lalaruk. Lalaruk means pink, how you call this in English?
Cheeks.
Pink. Yes, and it left 26 February and on a sailing ship, and they arrived on the night of the 4th. So the 5th, from the 410, 11 passed away on the ship. So 399 arrived. So exactly what you have shown just now with your film, the same thing. Hamara Purvaj, Girmitiyas, all the stories are the same. Only Suriname has its, special story. Mauritius, Fiji, everywhere. So you're all welcome. Mr. Vishnu Visram is coming with a group from Trinidad. So we are just busy with the Foreign Affairs Ministry about the visa because there are some change and about their hospitality and so on. So it's enormous. But I can, after this activity, after the 11th of June, then we are going to focus on this ICC diaspora tour in August. So everything will be okay. Don't bother. We are getting more than 100 people of this diaspora conference. On Saturday, the 10th, we are bringing this 100-something people to this plantation tours, some of the tours which are planned with you. So we are doing it. So on the 11th, I have to play tour guide for these people. We are going in 3, 4, 5, 6 buses, and it will be full day program. So that's it.
Thank you so much. So everybody, those of you all who want to get involved or to even be part of this fantastic Indian Arrival Day celebration in Suriname, well, Trinidad and Tobago, we will be celebrating Indian Arrival Day on the 30th, which is on Tuesday. Unfortunately, we do not have the huge celebrations that Suriname does, but some Trinidadians are definitely going to be there. So it's not too late. You all can always book your flights and get into Suriname to experience that terrific program that they have outlined. Thank you so much, Mr. Pandey. We have a question now from Banmati. Banmati, please unmute your mic. Banmati is still muted.
Okay. Good evening, all. I saw someone ask about how she could get her immigration pass, or she couldn't find it, or they couldn't get it. But what happened, I just want to share my story a little, how we were able to get ours, and probably that will help her. Now, stories were passed down in our family, and we knew our grandmother, our Aji, was born in 1896 on the Enmore sugar plantation. And her father's name was Digdowner. I don't know if I pronounced it properly, but anyways, we took that information to the archives in Guyana, and they look at it because children born of indentured parents, records are there. The estates recorded their births, and it's at the archives. So from that info record, they were able to see, yes, her father's name was Dick Downer. That's the name that was passed down to us. And there was a number there that led them to the immigration book, And there they found that, yes, he came with his mother, with siblings and a father, and all the children's name actually were recorded on the mother's immigration pass. And separately as well. They had their separate passes. In fact, we found that she had a baby on board the ship, and the immigration pass was a little different from the others. So there was so much information. But first, if you get your grandparents' date of birth, and especially if they were born on the sugar plantation, children of indentured people. And so that we took it from there, and we were able to get, if you have your father's birth certificate too, there are numbers there that can lead you. Older people, they have these birth certificates. We even found that 1912, I heard we had a relative in Edmore last year when I went. They had a birth certificate in 1912, and that person was related to us by blood because his grandfather was the last son that was born in Guyana of that very group of people that came on the ship. They came in 1869 on the Michelangelo ship, and 10 years in 1879, Gobin was born in Enmore. So it's amazing what you can find if you talk to and look at old birth certificates, and you can even go to the registry to get copies, or if you have at home. I just hope that will help someone.
Yeah, thank you very much, Banmati. So Banmati was speaking there about how to find some of the records in Guyana. And you have to have some information in order to be able to go to the archives and to continue the search. But I just want to ask Dilip, when you get access to the immigration pass, so let's say someone is able to do their research in the archives in whatever territory that they live in, they then go ahead and they forward the immigration pass to you. Can you please
Yes.
walk them through the steps that will follow? And a cost, if there is a cost.
Can you say again?
Yeah, please walk them through the steps that will follow once you receive the documents and any costs that might be attached.
For the researching?
Yes.
Okay. Basically, if any person want and say to us for the physically visit of the ancestor village, firstly we research and we check this is the information right or wrong, and we located and mark that this place how much distance from the Delhi and state capitals Lucknow and the Patna in the Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, and from the Kolkata. It depends on the distance from the Delhi, and all district and distance minimum 600 to 700 500 kilometers from the Delhi. So it's depends on the distance, but it is the very nominal cost of the expense. So we just charge the real expense of the tour. Our people, two people go there 2-3 days, they research in the local position. So it will nearby 400 350 and 450 USD dollar. It's depend on the distance. So we charge actual prices. If any person want and say to us for the physical visit, but when sent to document to us and when we see this, so we don't do any charge. We just check and inform this is the information right or wrong. But if any person want and interested for the physical visit, so they will pay actual expenses and we will calculate the real expense. What is the real expense they will pay? Then our team will be go there, the village, and all research and connect with the family. But if family available or not, this is the after physical visit village, it's the possible.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Once again, I'm opening the floor. Do you all have any final questions that you would like to ask? It's been a very long weekend for Dilip and Swasti. It's very, very late in India right now, and they both need to
Also
get some well-needed rest.
yesterday we organized a big events all with all excellencies, Suriname, Mauritius, Fiji, Guyana, everyone
Yes,
attend
it's
this
been a
program,
very
and
busy
our
weekend.
external and culture minister also chief guest in this events last day, Girmitiya Festival.
So,
Jay has a
okay,
question.
Jay.
Sorry,
Yes.
Jay, go ahead.
Where is Jay? Yeah,
Jay
unmute.
is still
Okay.
muted.
Yeah, this seems to be all in the northern India region, northern Indian region. What about South India?
This is the South India, basically mainly connected from the Madras. Now currently name is the Chennai. If any person send to us documents, we connect with our people in the South India, and if get any information, firstly we inform the connected people. Okay, but the South India, North India is the very practical difference. Is the language is the completely different, and North India and South India distance also is the very, very long. But if any people connected from also South India, they send to us firstly immigration pass, and we check as per our local connectivity also from the South India, and if get any information regarding and as per documents, firstly we inform. Yes, sir.
Okay, that's fine. As long as you got a region there, you've got somebody in that region. Because there was quite a few that came to South Africa from South India.
Yes, sir.
And
Also in the Trinidad and Tobago, in Mauritius
got-
and Durban and Natal, also many South Indian, our ancestors go from the South
Right.
India.
Right. And we have a documented center in Durban at the moment, which has
Yes.
the complete list of everybody. And I have a copy of that so that I know which region and which area that I
I'm
will
showing
have.
some documents from the, can you see this is the?
Yeah, I have my birth certificate.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
This
from
is
South
also
Africa.
from the South
This is
Africa
from the
document.
Gandhi Serve Foundation.
You see?
Right, right.
Yes.
I have the ship's list, the ship that took my father from Madras to Durban. So
You
it
know, sir,
tells.
here one is the very important problem, and this is information know everyone, because no any official records in India available in the archive and National Library. I researched although in the also library of the Kolkata Port Trust areas and also West Bengal Archive Library, but not get any official records of the Girmitiya immigration. This is the main problem here also. All documents and records available in their country, in Mauritius and Fiji and Guyana. So it is
Right.
also very difficult, because when we go in the government office and matching the documents from the Mauritius and Fiji, so many times we're not connected. But we go in the local places and local police station areas, then we connected from the all locality name and all the village name. But when the visit in the district headquarters, so not met. So many times it's a very difficult without physical visit in the village.
Right, right. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So you see, it's not simple. It's not as simple as we have it in Trinidad and Tobago, for example, to get information. And because India is so vast, we can really appreciate how difficult it is for you all, Dylan. And at this point in time, I just want to say thank you on behalf of all of us. Thank you so much for the work that you are doing and for those who help you in that work. And thank you so much to you and Swasti for pulling together and bringing your efforts to bear on something that we can all benefit from. Thank you very, very much.
Swasti is the main pillar and founder of the Girmitiya Foundation.
Oh, thank you.
Very good. Yeah. So kudos to you, Swasti. So I want to say thank you very much to you, Dilip, to Swasti, to you, Ken. We really appreciate you all having sacrificed and spending the time with us. And I want to bring today's session to a formal close. It was extremely enlightening. And I'll pass you on over now to Shakira.
Thank you, Shalama, for being a wonderful moderator, and thank you all for taking the time to participate. Thank you especially to the speakers. As I've said before, this public meeting is being hosted by the Indo-Caribbean Cultural Center and the Amina Ghafoor Institute for the Study of Indentureship and its Legacies, led by Professor David Davidine. Today's edition of our program is being supported by the Sport and Culture Fund of the Office of the Prime Minister of the Government of Trinidad and Tobago. And you can feel free to contact the ICC to publish your books and your reports. And remember that we are asking you to kindly give us your suggestions as well as donations, and you can contact Dr. Kumar Mahabir for details. Thank you to the advisory and planning team led by Dr. Kumar Mahabir, and to our IT manager behind the scenes, Ravan Ramsingh, who has been recording the program and will upload it to our website and to YouTube permanently for posterity. So our topic next Sunday will be part 10 of our conversations with elders in the Indian diaspora, which is always a wonderful program. Please visit our YouTube channel to see all our past recordings. I am Shakira Mohammed of Trinidad and Tobago saying goodbye. May God bless you all. Dhanyavad.
And to so many of you, everyone here who is present. The problem is that, you know, we sometimes we have very few documents, sometimes we don't have any at all. And like in the case of St. Kitts, where I went to do research, the archives has been burned down. So what do we do really in such a situation? Dilip.